Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Resistance. Today, we got smoked. Shouldn't have, but we did. So let's go over every single loss that we've taken today. And we've only got really one pretty big loss today. The others are kind of, standard 1%ers and stuff like that. So it's nothing too crazy, but we did take one big L. But we'll start off with CSL. This was interesting. It's like one of the top stocks on ASX, right? Like, I don't know if by market... okay, it's come off quite a lot. Fuck. I was going to say, this used to be like a top 5 stock, right? It might still be. It's 50 billion market cap. But I couldn't get shorts on this one, which I thought was really weird. Imagine not getting shorts on Telstra or CBA or something. It's just unthinkable. But yeah, this one couldn't get shorts. Took a long to VWAP, and that's it. Like nothing crazy, few dollary dues. Just it wasn't really worth whatever, less than 1%. It's like meh, whatever. So yeah, couldn't get the short, and just like A2M, also couldn't get the short on this. And I was really keen on this short as well because it ended up being a nice big all-dayer. Just a big gap up into a fade. And yeah, really clean. Hit VWAP, and a little bit of a fake out there, but it was also $7, the round number thing. So with 3 ticks away, you probably would have added short at 7 or 6.99. Just really clean, but couldn't take it. There was no borrow available. I didn't have any other. I didn't have my other platform up, which is a market-made environment for these kinds of trades, and it's just unfortunate, but it is what it is. Those two would have been fantastic shorts. And just keep in mind also for those who haven't traded today, the US was not trading on Friday, so there was no real lead in. So it's just a bit awkward across the board. ING, this one is based on the news that in WA there's bird flu, and there was some non-sensitive news on their operations in ING. So it's a big 10% gap down, 9% gap down. It sort of starts recovering. I short the double top because, my MO is not to go long on a stock that's down 9%, right? It's not a good thing to do. This is that 2% chance, or maybe a little bit higher, 2 to 5% chance that it just busts through and just V-shapes into a sick recovery. So that's what happened. It was a cost of business, and it ended up adding on or starting a short 191. I'm pretty sure it was 1915 straight at the pivot, and then 192 as well. And I think that's it. I think that was it in terms of the short position. Ended up closing at 195, and I think it was 195.5 average. So I think I'm close. I'm out at 196 as well. So it was a multiple cuts, but we'll call it 195.5. So basically a 2%. Loss on this one, and every tick really mattered, so took a bit of a hit on this one, probably a little bit more than I should have. I was sort of anticipating a sort of a rally into a fake out, didn't occur, and the 2% loss is a little bit too much for my liking, so took a bit of a haircut on that one. We have WiseTech. This is just a really unfortunate one for me. Because I was trading A2M, looking at CSL, I didn't have time to execute this one. So the crux of this one, the news headline was something along the lines of sex trafficking by the CEO. I don't know if they're allegations or charges. I just knew the sentiment was in the shitter. And we take a look at the daily, and look, you don't really need to read the news in depth. The headline is enough, especially when you got this breakdown, right? Technical breakdown. You've got a 4.5%. Yeah, 4.8% gap down. The thing is a monster to the downside. There's no support levels for the next 3 or 4 years, mind you. Maybe 26 is something, but you never know if this thing rallies for a couple of dollars and then sells off later. So that doesn't matter. The intraday is what matters here. And just a really nice breakdown. By the time I really saw how strong the breakdown was, I was already up to this second or third candle here. And I was like, I don't know, I find it awkward to follow momentum when I'm this far away from open. I mean, that's already sold down $2, $2.50 or something. And I'm not comfortable taking a trade this late, especially with the wicks up as well. And then it does puke it. It starts to recover. I try shorting it, but didn't hit VWAP, which felt shit. And then, of course, frustration kicks in, amateur hour. Guess who shorts the breakdown, or just before the breakdown? It was looking really good below 32, or at 32 and just below. It breaks down. I add on a little bit, and then it pops to the upside, and that's where I cut. it is what it is. A recovery in the first minute, it's shit. Therefore, it gets to VWAP again. Took this short, but didn't make enough here in this move to make up for the loss that I took here. So, you know, maybe a little bit less than 2%. But then this move here, 1.5%. So it's like, you know, it wasn't a brutal day today or anything, but I didn't like the way it traded. It's one of those things where probably in hindsight, it's like, hey, take a short on the match next time. Again, hindsight. And just kind of leave it all day long. Again, hindsight. But the news and sentiment and the chart setup sort of lead to that idea that this is actually a stock that would be worth leaving alone all day. What are the odds this thing gaps down and just gap fills? It's, I think, incredibly low when you consider what the news is and when you consider the technical chart, the negative aspects of, or negative sentiment of software as a service in general. So SaaSpocalypse recently. So it all adds to this story that this thing should get punished. And it did. And in hindsight, I think there's a lack of, I think it's just really unfortunate that I chose to try and execute on other stocks instead of this one. I think that's all it really came down to, because it's not like a lack of preparation, because all these stocks open at the same time. So I'm trying to execute A2M short, can't do it. Trying to execute CSL short, can't do it. And then by the time I get to WiseTech, it's already come off so hard. So I think it's just unfortunate more than anything that that I just didn't really hammer this one down. It's just unfortunate. So we also have LYC. So LYC is the one that really punished me today. So before I get into the actual trade, I want to just give a bit of context behind it. So we have, let's have a look at the intraday. I know this is lithium carbonate, but lithium carbonate and rare earths tend to move kind of in tandem with each other. So there's a big sell-off, 9% intraday, ended up closing at -2% for today. So that's actually a bit of a sharp recovery. And let's take a look at the daily chart. It's looking rough. Looks like it's going to curl over. And lithium comes right back to resistance, actually. That's quite interesting on the daily here. Either way, it looked rough. And we can look at something like PLS. Now, see what PLS did today. It sort of just puked it. LYC did follow, but as you saw, it did recover. The LIT ETF and the REMX ETF, which is the rare earth ETF. You can see this one's curling over for lithium. For rare earths, it is also curling over, but for some reason the chart looks different on the 1 hour. So this is how it looks like. It's again curling over, just like the lithium ETF. So LYC, the expectation for me was that this was going to be a short. And when it bounced, I was looking at it thinking, damn, I'm going to get a good entry here. And at the lows, this was a bearish engulfing. So it was actually looking really good to just keep plummeting down to like 1550. I would have held on for a swing short for sure if it closed below 1735. But we'll have a look intraday what happened. And what we ended up with was a nice just puke down, range break, puke, high volumes as well. So if I just zoom in a little bit, you can see the volumes, really high volumes, puking it. And then it just recovers. So yeah, it hit VWAP, come off, broke VWAP. And this is where I start going, oh shit, this is really good. Take this $18, so round number. So, if it breaks through VWAP, it's like, okay, cool, we'll take $18. They got a short, hits VWAP, and then it starts recovering again with a high volume spike here. So if I zoom in, there's that little spike there. And yeah, I was like, what the fuck? I guess we're double topping now? Like I couldn't register why this was performing and recovering so well. And of course, there's another aspect to this, and that is the sharp V-shape recovery. So when something dips and then recovers sharp, so what I mean is like V-shape like this instead of a wider V-shape, so a slower recovery. So a really fast and sharp V-shape tends to break through VWAP and can even get close to a double top or actually hit a double top. So I was thinking, okay, well, everything sort of is leading to a short. So when it came up to 1850, which is double top for the day, kind of like my ING trade, ended up taking the short. And you know, and I'm down from what 18, 18, 18 to now. It's like a negative 3.4, which I added on. This position as well is down. Well, this one's only down 0.6, but it was a lot higher. You know, 1.64. And this initial entry was down like 4%, and that is way too high. 4.4%, way too high. I'm there thinking that this idea that I have is a good idea, the trade idea, and then you end up with a chart that looks like this. So bearish engulfing now turned into, I don't know what you call that, the dragonfly doji. I don't care about the names really, but that is a strong candle. So I had to close out half on auction, and thankfully it gapped down at auction. It wasn't much. I think it was 12, 13 cents, but it was something. And yeah, we took off half the position. And a part of me thinks that the rare earth ETF will come off, just like the lithium one will as well. Yeah, you know, I don't know what to tell you guys. I can't explain why LYC recovered the way it did and looks so strong. You know, maybe looking at it, there's this sort of level here, or whatever you want to call it, maybe here, where it kind of broke down and now it's back into range, and this looks so fucking strong now. So now I'm just thinking, shit, I probably should have closed heading to 20. I mean, Parag on Twitter is telling me that it's going to 20, and I'm like, fuck, I can't go against the Parag call. I can't fade the Parag. You just know he's right every fucking time. Damn it, Parag. So yeah, that's the butchering that we got today. You know, it feels like I went 2 steps forward on Friday, and now I'm 1.5 steps back today. And you know, it always feels like a really good day precedes, or rather, a bad day precedes a really good day. So we'll see how this goes. Any sign of green tomorrow, I'm cutting the rest of this position. I just hope it really doesn't go something crazy like 1927, 1920, something like that. Some kind of gap up to punish me even harder. It is what it is. But that's the butchering I got today, ladies and gentlemen. It's not pretty, but we still got the rest of the week to go. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.